Hey everyone. I think I'm live. I guess so. Hi. Hallo zusammen. Good evening. Guten Abend, as we say in Germany, because it is evening in Germany. It's 8 p.m. A couple of minutes past that, but it's basically 8 p.m. 20 Uhr, 20 o'clock in a way, in the terms of the 24-hour system. Yeah, looking forward to this. Oh boy, new Alter Bridge. Have read a few things about this album, but not a lot. So it's gonna be a blind reaction, my first listen experience for this new Alter Bridge album. And I can't wait, I really like this band. For many reasons actually. And I don't want to give too much away what I think or hope for this album to be like, beforehand. But we'll see. I wonder how it will compare to the previous two albums. Let me put it this way. So we'll see. Will Smith. I'm gonna repost the album links into the video description real quick, because I'm about to explain how this reaction will work, because this is not a usual reaction in that sense, out of copyright reasons, but it's still a reaction and it's still synchronous, so it's very well possible to follow this with a little bit of help and adjustment. This works, alrighty. We'll see. So, gonna set everything up finally the way I want it to be, the chat and everything, so I can read your comments and all of that. So, what is this? Well, as you might be able to tell from the video's title, this is going to be a music reaction, an album reaction, a full album reaction. I'm going to react to the entire new Alter Bridge album, Pawns and Kings, for the first time. I'm going to listen to it for the first time, and my tongue is slower than my brain sometimes. Happens. I'm really, really, really excited about this, and I hope it will deliver what I'm not certainly expecting, but what I hope for. Let me put it this way. I will get more into detail what I think and what I mean by that after having listened to this album. And as I've actually addressed a couple of seconds ago, this reaction is slightly different to what you might expect in a way, because sadly, out of copyright reasons, I can't include the actual music in this reaction, but don't click away, don't shut off the video, because you can still react along and listen to the songs along with me. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, because there's an easy workaround. I'm gonna count you in, and I'm gonna hit play for each song after 3, 2, 1, play. So you can actually hit play at the same time, basically. And you can also see where I'm at within the song down there, in terms of the duration of the song and the spot that I'm listening to right now. So, for instance, for people that want to tune in later or retune in, so to speak, it should be fairly easy to adjust to that and to join in the listening experience, the listening party. And after each song, I'm gonna hit pause, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about the song and my first impression, the respective interpretation that I might have or may not, And I'm also gonna translate every single song title from English to German, because definitely my channel is about the German language and culture, and a German, that would be me explaining that in various ways, for instance with music. So this is, it's an interesting mashup of genres, if you will, a music listening and music reaction type of video, and a German language practice, you know. So I hope this is something worthwhile for you guys. And as you can see, I'm dressed accordingly to the occasion, you know. My old Alter Bridge Fortress shirt, which actually kind of fit me better a couple of years ago, but it still fits, you know, and that's the only important thing right now, right here. And I look really pale with these settings. I don't know why. Maybe I can adjust them real quick or change something about that. I don't know. Nah, but I didn't change anything. Maybe I changed a few settings, and after we've done that, I'm gonna start. Just give me a second. Cam. There is the cam. Let's see if it actually works out. Still pale. I mean, I am pale, but not that pale. You know, I'm not a vampire, der Vampir, or a zombie, as far as I know. So, I don't know. Maybe like this, maybe not. Not really. Interesting. Anyway, yeah. I think this should suffice for now. It's not perfect. You know, it's always the same with these settings. I just haven't really found the sweet spot of, you know, the perfect balance of light and settings and everything, you know, color keying and everything. So I'm becoming one with the background, sort of, with my shirt. Anyway. Anyway, wow, okay, wow. Technology, fascinating stuff, if you ask me, and I know you do. Anyway, that should suffice for now, sort of, and I'd say, you know what, let's begin checking out this album. I want to listen to it. Don't know about you guys, but I want to listen to it. And I'm gonna get started right away. In a second, that's that. I'm gonna put on my lovely headphones. Alrighty. And I'm gonna check out this album. And the first song of the album, This Is War. Quickly before we're gonna do this, the first German lesson element in this video. Alter Bridge, you know, when a German hears that band name, they might say Alter Bridge, because Alter basically means dude, you know, it's a colloquial slang interjection. Alter, yo, bro, dude, you know, that's basically Alter. It's the same spelling. It's a different pronunciation, of course, because it's a different language, basically, but that is it. And doesn't have anything to do with the original band name and the idea behind it, because it's, I guess, from what I know, it's a bridge in, is it Spokane? Spoken? I always forget how to pronounce that town. That is where the singer Miles Kennedy is from, I think, and I think it's a bridge there, and they named the band after that bridge for some reason. And the second term, you know, translated to German, the bridge is die Brücke, singular, die Brücken, plural, right? The bridge. Gonna type that into the chat. Both things, real quick. And of course, Pawns and Kings. An interesting and thought-provoking album title. Of course, reminding, of chess and all that. So you can translate that to Bauern und Könige. For der Bauer, singular. Die Bauern, plural. The pawn, or, in a more general way, der Farmer. Der Bauer, the farmer. And the second part is der König, singular. Die Könige, plural. The king, So it works within the context of chess and, outside of it, basically as war waging terms or terms of different levels of power, someone being superior, someone being inferior, and all of that, and their relation. So I think this album could have something to do with this, judging from the song titles as well, which I'm gonna dive more into with each song that we're gonna listen to. So, without further ado, let's actually switch it. And let's begin with the first song of Alter Bridge's 10th studio album, I think it is, Pawns and Kings. This is War. And we're gonna listen to it in 3, 2, 1, play. Wow, okay. Immediate start, no intro. Didn't expect that. Ooh. Ooh. Nice. Double bass. What? Love the nice little details. Right. Love the harder edge. The drums and everything. Double bass. Suits the band well, I think. Those little details in the guitar, little guitar licks. Specialty of Tremonti. Ooh. Love the contrast of the fast guitar picking with the slow drumming here. Okay. shredding, yeah. But it's melodic shredding. Dig that. And that was This Is War by Alter Bridge, off of their 10th album, Pawns and Kings. So, yeah, pretty cool, slick, solid opener. Really enjoy the increased heaviness in terms of the drumming, you know, especially the double bass by Scott Phillips. And yeah, it's not too heavy though, you know. And they manage the sometimes, I guess, difficult balance of being heavy yet still melodic and accessible. And to me, they definitely achieved that. At least with this song. I don't know about the other 9 songs that we're about to listen to. But this is War. But this was also cool. So, yeah. Solid opener. Didn't blow me away in terms of, you know, oh, this is like something completely off the track and off the charts, and I didn't expect that. Doesn't have to, though. Don't get me wrong. But I like, as I've said before, the increased heaviness in this. And of course, Miles, and I don't mean that in a bad way whatsoever, it's just his, you know, tonal quality in terms of singing. He just has an easy way to get through the frequencies with his high, slightly nasal voice, you know. And I guess it's one of those voices you either love it or you hate it, and there's nothing in between. And I don't think I really had to get adjusted to it back in the day. I actually became a fan with Isolation, the single Isolation of AB3 in 2011, back in the day, long time ago, 11 years. And yeah, ever since, I was a fan of the band. And then they released Fortress, which I think is a modern cult classic, to be honest. It's such a good and well-rounded and well-balanced album. The songwriting is so strong on that one. And yeah, let's see how this actually compares, because that is one of my points of reference, to be honest. Fortress, Blackbird, you know, AB3, I think those 3 basically, and also amongst many of Alter Bridge, you know, many Alter Bridge fans that I've read about, or, you know, in terms of comments or on forums, on social media, pretty much all of them, the vast majority of them, seem to praise these 3 albums as the top 3 Alter Bridge albums, and I totally get that. So we'll check out the rest in a sec, but before, This Is War translates to Das ist Krieg. Das ist Krieg, for der Krieg, singular, die Kriege, plural, the war, you know. I don't know when they wrote this and if this actually has anything to do with the Russian-Ukrainian situation right now, or if it's just a general thing, if it actually is based in reality and real wars as opposed to, you know, metaphorical wars and the like, or even chess, you know. Maybe it's a concept album about playing chess. Why not? Because, you know, I mean, would be cool though, in a way. And certainly not everyone would dare to do that. So, yeah. So This Is War would be Das or Dies ist Krieg, and it's Der Krieg. This is war. Alrighty. Yeah. Looking forward to song number 2, which is called Dead Among the Living, and it's gonna start in 3, 2, 1, play. Pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 pam. What's the timing? Oh, nice. Okay. Love the melody in the verse. Living. Nice little way to end that vocal melody. Yes, I definitely like this. Tiffany, hi! Thanks for tuning in. Not the biggest fan of the pre-chorus, gotta be honest, but the chorus itself is awesome. Living. Ah. This is a cool song. Also love the use of toms here in this one. Little fills here and there. Also great use of dynamics, not just, in terms of the speed of the music, but also in the different parts of the song, I feel. That's cool. Little coda. Okay. Nice. And that was Dead Among the Living by Alter Bridge, the second song off of Pawns and Kings, their 10th studio album. By the way, once again, hi Tiffany. As you might have seen if you're watching one of my album reactions for the first time, I'm gonna speak a little bit throughout the songs, but I'm gonna keep it low profile. At least I try to. And sometimes I just immediately say what I think before I forget, Slipknot reference, no pun intended, but yeah, cool song. I actually don't know which songs they released as a single. I think Silver Tongue, the next one might be one, I'm not sure, but Dead Among the Living could definitely be a single. It definitely has that quality, that accessibility. As I've said before, I wasn't the biggest fan of the progression of the pre-chorus, but it works in relation to the very harmonic and kind of melodic chorus, which is really memorable. You know, dead among the living, this living, that he goes high at that point is really cool. And it's those little details within a vocal line that really catch me, you know. And Miles definitely has that ability. Miles Kennedy, the singer in Alter Bridge, for those of you who are not too familiar with the band, I consider him to be one of the best singers alive, to be honest. He's worked with Slash, you know, of Guns N' Roses before, and he's well acclaimed, even though, once again, it's a love or hate voice that he has. Either you love it or you hate it. I don't think there's too much in between, but I love it. I definitely get when people don't love it, though, because it is an acquired taste, I guess. It works for the music, though. You know, it's a nice contrast to the low guitars and the tuning and everything. So awesome. Dead Among the Living. Basically my first highlight, you know, out of the 2 songs that we've listened to so far. But yeah, this, I like this. I'll have to give the album a listen a little later on, says Tiffany. Yes, definitely do that. But feel free to join in if you can, of course, or if you want to listen along. And by the way, of course, to everyone watching this afterwards on YouTube, hi, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate that. Feel free to write in the comments if you watch this later as a recording, because that is also good to know. I'm gonna do these album reactions / German language lessons every now and then, because it's fun for me. You know, it basically combines the 2 things that I love, music and helping people, I guess, in a way of explaining a little bit about the German language and culture wherever I can and however I can. And I'm gonna do that right now, because Dead Among the Living, the song's title, can be translated to Tod unter den Lebenden or Tod unter den Lebendigen, which basically means the same, you know. And that is a pretty thought-provoking song title, if you ask me. You know, you feel dead among the living, so you basically yourself, you are still alive, yet you feel neglected or overlooked for some reason. You know, when it's a first listen reaction like this one, I tend to not really pay too much attention to the lyrics every now and then, because I basically want to suck it all in the way it comes to my ears. And it's just like with the second or third listen and rotation that I pay more attention to the lyrics. So bear with me here. But the song's title definitely, yeah, has a nice ring to it. So Tod unter den Lebenden or Tod unter den Lebendigen for Tod, dead, you know, and der Lebende, Singular, die Lebenden, Plural, the living person, you know. Also possible der Lebendige, you know, as I've said before, and as you can see in the chat up there, Tod unter den Lebenden / Lebendigen. Lebenden and Lebendigen basically mean the same. Both are pretty much common words. Sorry. And, you know, as an infinite verb, it's basically leben, to live, leben, you know. Awesome song. Yeah, really solid. Let's continue with the third song, and I think a single, if I'm not mistaken, judging from the number of plays on this streaming provider, which you might be able to tell which it is, from the, you know, layout and everything. Anyway, let's continue with song number 3 in 3, 2, 1, go. Silver Tongue. Wow. Okay, right away, once again. They don't F around with this one. No intros and everything so far. Ooh. It's a nice little hi-hat pattern on the left side. Ooh. Yeah, nice. Mm-hmm. Once again, hi-hat pattern. Love this driving, pounding snare. Pam, pam, pam. Nice song to drive along to, I guess. Those bridges, those bridge sections, always a surprise. Ooh, the low, Miles. Awesome. Damn catchy melody. Also, the background vocals by Mark. Awesome. Great combination of the two of them. And that was Silver Tongue by Alter Bridge. And hi to the Gonza. Is it the Gonza? 1967. 76, I'm sorry. It's the other way around in English. Hi, ich bin ein Argentinier in Deutschland. Love Alter Bridge. Great channel. Thank you very much for saying that and thanks for tuning in. Awesome. Have you listened to the album already or would this be your first listen as well? I wonder. Thanks for tuning in. I really, really appreciate that. I know these album reactions in a way, they don't get as many clicks necessarily or views. I don't really care, to be honest, though, because it's what I love. It's much fun for me doing this, even if only a few people may find this. So be it. Gonna do this every now and then still, so I like it. Anyway, two things that I want to mention here. The background vocals, once again, by Mark Tremonti, the guitar player and singer as well. He's also active with his own solo band and solo project, Tremonti, also really, really cool. And when he sings along with Miles Kennedy, the frontman and the main singer, it's a nice contrast. It's not tonally similar, but it's a similar effect compared to Alice in Chains, for instance, especially back in the day with Lane Staley when he was still alive, the original Alice in Chains singer, and Jerry Cantrell, the combination of those two voices and those two different tonal qualities really make for a unique experience. And it's the same with Alter Bridge. This is what I really like about them. And what I also really enjoy, and you can really notice that Scott Phillips, the drummer, has come a long way. You know, I mean, he's always drummed and played certain drum arrangements that were really creative, also on past records. But so far on this album, it fits the harder edge to it, but it really impresses me, especially also in this one. You know, for instance, this hi-hat pattern that you could hear on the left channel, on the left side of the speaker, and the headphones in this case, really cool. And also the toms, you know, the tom structure in this one and the previous song. Wow, awesome. That is really, really cool. So another great song, and definitely also one that could be a single. I think it was, I'm not sure, but if it was also a great choice. Interestingly enough, you know, from the 3 songs that we've listened to so far, I prefer the second and third songs over the first, from my first impression. Doesn't mean I don't like This Is War, you know. It's a cool song, it's a solid song, but it's not an extremely, you know, captivating opener in terms of, or compared to Cry of Achilles, for instance, on Fortress. That was an opener, oh boy. Not many albums have an opener song like that really starts and builds and builds and builds and then erupts. And yeah, but this, you know, This Is War, basically slammed right into the door right away, which is also cool, you know. It's just different, I guess. So Silver Tongue translates to silberne Zunge, for Silber, or das Silber, you know, as a noun, silver, and die Zunge, singular, die Zungen, plural, the tongue, Silver Tongue, silberne Zunge. Gonna post that into the chat real quick. I don't know what that actually refers to. In Germany, we have a saying that goes, Reden ist Silber, Schweigen ist Gold. Talking is silver, being silent is gold. You know, sometimes it's better to not speak and to remain silent as opposed to speaking and getting yourself in trouble. That's basically the outline of that. Reden ist Silber, Schweigen ist Gold. Gonna post that into the chat as well. I don't know if there's an English equivalent, I guess so. Reden ist, and I don't know if this actually refers to that in a way or not, but it certainly reminded me of that. Reden ist Silber, Schweigen ist Gold. Talking is silver, you know, a little literal translation there. Being silent is gold. And of course, silberne Zunge, you know, silver tongue, das Silber, as a color, or as, you know, a material. And once again, die Zunge, singular, die Zungen, plural, the tongue, silver tongue. Also a very thought-provoking song title, I think. Okay, nice opening so far. Pretty solid. Yes, I definitely enjoy this so far. Let's continue with song number 4, Sin. After Sin. That's the song's title. And it goes like this. In 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, that one has a nice little introduction. Drums and toms. Ooh! I think that is a new guitar effect for Alter Bridge. Sort of. Nice addition to the sound palette. Wow! That is really creative. Wow. bit more laid back. That was a nice chord change. That sounds really nasty. The guitar tone is... Wow. Hi, Carl. This is more ethereal, and it's a nice mixture of the low miles and the higher singing miles, you know. And it actually reminds me a little bit of Jerry Cantrell, the slow and dark guitar phrasing in the chorus. This this little slide up, you know. And nice background vocals once again by Mark Tremonti. Also, nice showcase of the two of them singing together. Ooh! The breakdowns. They know how to do great breakdowns. Alrighty, that was Sin After Sin by Alter Bridge. Okay, really dragging, but not in a bad way. It's a nice contrast to the more up-tempo songs that we've listened to so far. It's not a ballad though, because sometimes when you hear, oh, it's a slow song, it's like a little, dragging and slower, you may get the impression, hey, it may be a ballad, but it isn't. It's far from it, actually. It's not really doomy, that slow, but it certainly has a doom-ish quality to it, doom rock, doom metal, I think. And it really reminded me, especially the guitar playing and the phrasing in the chorus, this long slide up, of Jerry Cantrell of Alice in Chains. And I really, really dig that, because I like Alice in Chains. And by the way, Carl Herring, thanks for tuning in, for first and foremost, Carl. He says, "Hi Dave, silver-tongued in English means someone who speaks very convincingly, like a good salesman would have a silver tongue." Ah, yes. Okay, I think I heard about that before somewhere. Thanks for reminding me and for telling me, Carl. That is greatly appreciated. So if you have background information on certain, expressions or sayings, feel free to tell me, because I also like to learn something new, as well as you guys may be interested in learning some German with music and songs. And once again, we're going to do this with this song as well, because the song's title, Sin After Sin, sounds very religious, almost. Religious. Religious. Oop, religious. Doesn't have to be. By the way, if you see the image bumping a little bit when I'm typing, that is because the camera is attached to, standing on a podium on the desk itself. So that is why. Hope you don't mind. Anyway, Sin After Sin. Yeah. Is it a song that I would, out of the songs that I have listened to so far, that from the first listen, judging from that, I would actually listen to on repeat all the time? Maybe not, because it is really dark in a way, which is cool. And in the context of the album, I think maybe this song is one of those that really work best in context of the album as a continuum. Could be wrong though, because once again, it's my first listen and things can change drastically. But it's cool, it's definitely also another cool song, and it's a nice little flavor to the palette of this album, this record. So the title would translate to Sünde nach Sünde, literally. You could also say in a related but maybe a bit more common way, Sünde für Sünde, sin for sin, or sin by sin in that sense. It basically means the same, and it may be a more common way to express this in German, or to phrase this in German, but sin after sin, Sünde nach Sünde would also be possible. For die Sünde, singular, die Sünden, plural, the sin. Has a nice ring to it, that term, I think, in German as well. And also in English, the sin, die Sünde, that S at the beginning. Yeah, cool. And once again, the harmony vocals with Miles and Mark, and also Mark delivering some really awesome background vocals. That is something that I really like when bands have that. For instance, also the Red Hot Chili Peppers, when Anthony Kiedis is singing, and in the background you can hear John Frusciante doing some really awesome harmonies and background vocal deliveries that really match well with the singing in the foreground, if that makes sense, And they, like Alter Bridge, I think, from Fortress onwards, when Mark actually had a little more light to shine vocally as well, with Waters Rising, for instance, great song on Fortress, a song that pretty much is sung, up to 95-ish% by Mark instead of Miles. it's cool. I like when they do that. So yeah, definitely enjoying this so far. Let's continue with song number 5, Stay. In 3, 2, 1, play. Play Stay. Once again, the guitar production is impeccable. This could be sort of a half ballad type of song, maybe, from the sound of it, from my immediate impression. Could be wrong, though. Oh! Mark singing! Such an underrated singer, I think, in modern rock and metal. And he's also come a long way in terms of singing. Love his vibrato. This is more alternative rock based. Like it. Dun-dun-dun. Smooth like butter, his voice, it's... Nice contrast in terms of harmonies. Nice roundup of that vocal line. That was a nice one. That was Stay by Alter Bridge. Song number 5, halfway through the album. Okay, this was a more, it's always strange to say poppy, more poppy or pop-ish. It had a poppy sensibility in a good way. I like when songs have that, and it's also a nice contrast to Sin After Sin and other songs that came before this. Um, what I also really like about this album so far, and pretty much all the other Alter Bridge albums that I know, which is all of them, um, is the compilation of songs. The set list. If you want to translate that to a concert experience, or to compare it to a concert compilation of songs. A rise and fall of dynamics and everything. And it's the same on this album so far, because this song definitely was a nice and welcome contrast to a really heavy, dark, brooding, aggressive Sin After Sin. Awesome. And I always enjoy, just talked about that a second ago before I actually played the song, when Mark Tremonti sings. He has such a nice, warm, and rich voice. And I'm really glad, I was really, really glad that he actually not only sang Waters Rising on Alter Bridge, but he also started with his own solo project, Tremonti, where he sings, by the way, I consider All I Was, the first Tremonti album, specifically to be one of the best rock metal albums of the past decade. From start to finish, it's just great, I think. All the other albums are cool as well. Cauterize, and all. Great songs on those as well. But to me, I don't know why. Can't really make it out why. All I Was just has that extra specialty to it that I really, really enjoy. But I also really like this one, when it's more alternative based, as opposed to more metal based, for instance. Awesome. Really, really cool. I was wondering, actually, how do they determine, and especially how does Mark determine, which songs that he composes will get used for Alter Bridge and which songs will get used for Tremonti, because, he sings in those, typically. In this case, I think, because this, as I've said before, is more alternative based and has a poppy sensibility to it, maybe he said, okay, maybe this is more, Alter Bridge stuff, as opposed to Tremonti, which is like even harder and heavier than most of Alter Bridge's stuff, even though this album, partially it comes really close to the heaviness of Tremonti, here and there, in little fragments. Not overall, I wouldn't say, but you know what I mean. Anyway, stay translates to bleiben, to stay as a verb, bleiben. Or it could be a demand, someone is demanding you to stay. Bleib. You could also say that to a dog, it could be a dog command, for instance. Bleib. Stay. That's basically it. Awesome little nice song. Definitely enjoy this one. You could also say, of course, bleib hier, stay here. But bleib would also work as die Aufforderung, the demand. Okie dokie. That is halfway through the album. Let's continue with something that we all love, I guess. A holiday. A good, nice little holiday. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. By the way, this warning, disclaimer, this is explicit according to Spotify. We'll see. We'll hear. Let's continue with Holiday by Alter Bridge, song number 6 on Pawns and Kings for the first time in 3, 2, 1, play. I love the beginnings of these songs. Really surprising all the time. You don't know what's coming. and how it follows up, actually. There's a certain swing to it. Like a rockabilly sensibility. That's a strong chorus. Chencho Smith, hi. Thanks for tuning in. I love the contrast of the soaring guitar melodies and the swingy rhythm. The chorus is cool. I'm a sucker for great melodies, and, you know, the chorus melody is awesome. Nice. Nice. Okay, that was Holiday by Alterbridge and Chencho Smith. Tune in. He says, Dave, you have many fans in Puerto Rico. We eagerly await your visit. Ciao. Well, thank you very much, and greetings to everyone in Puerto Rico. From Germany, of course. I highly appreciate that. And it always blows my mind to this day. You know, I've been doing this basically for 7.5 years now. It always blows my mind to think that, you know, people watch my videos and learn more about the German language and culture with me, which is an honor in itself, but, you know, that they are from so many different parts of the world, from the USA to Puerto Rico to, you know, Japan. My tongue, once again, you know, my brain is faster than the tongue. Australia, you know, so many different parts of the world, and it always flatters me. It's so cool, and I extremely appreciate that, really, from the bottom of my heart. So thank you very much for saying that, for being so kind, and also for your support, of course. As you can see down there, there's a donation ticker, a tipping ticker, if you want to tip something and support the course of this channel, you know, and what I'm doing on YouTube, and my, I guess, more or less, in this case at least, unique mixture of, you know, music reaction / German listening experience and German language lesson, yeah, feel free to do that, of course. If you want to, that's greatly appreciated. Really makes a difference. Thank you. So that was Holiday by Alter Bridge. The chorus definitely will stick in my head. I love the swing feel to this one. And it's really, you know, when you think of a holiday and going on vacation, you know, you're in a good mood. You should be in a good mood, of course. And, you know, swingful and happy and cheerful and everything. It works, yeah. I love when I don't know about the lyrical content necessarily, and if it is as positive as the song makes me think it could be, but I just like it for what it is, you know. It's swingful, different quality to what I would expect from Alter Bridge, so it's definitely a surprise. Yeah, Holiday. I couldn't really figure out why it was explicit though. I couldn't really hear a like curse word or something like that, 4-letter word necessarily. Maybe I overheard it, you know, and not in the sense of, you know, I overheard it, but I didn't hear it. I don't know. Great song though. Definitely one of my favorite choruses on the album so far, along with Dead Among the Living, I think. Those two may be my favorites so far. So, Holiday, der Urlaub, you know, or die Ferien as a plural term. It doesn't exist as a singular term, it only exists as a plural term, which basically makes sense because you want to have many holidays, of course, you know. But that is a difference to the English language, because you can have the holiday singular and holidays plural. When you translate it to Ferien, you know, the school holidays, for instance, Schulferien, you can only use a plural term, a plural form of that, die Ferien. There is no singular form. So keep that in mind. Eduardo Alves, hi, thanks for tuning in, Eduardo, and thanks for telling me it's just the word pitch. Okay, I actually totally didn't hear that. I guess I was too distracted by the awesome feel of the song. Thanks for tuning in once again, highly appreciate that. Hope you enjoy this little music listening party and German language lesson combined. That is that. It's der Urlaub, so those are pretty much the two common ways to translate holiday. Der Urlaub, singular, die Urlaube, plural, the holiday, you know, in general, or der Feiertag, singular, die Feiertage, plural, you know, the celebration day, translated literally. A national holiday, for instance, der Feiertag. But you can also say Ferien, you know, die Ferien. But once again, keep in mind, it's plural only. Die Ferien. Okay. And now onto a song with an interesting title. A really interesting title. Fable of the Silent Sun. Sounds very dreamy and fairy tale-like, almost. Because of the fable, I guess. Sorry for bumping on against the microphone. Let's listen to that one. Song number 7, Fable of the Silent Sun by Alter Bridge on the album, the new album, Pawns and Kings, which is pretty cool so far. Let's listen to it in 3, 2, 1, play. Ooh. Wow, this is beautiful. Give me goosebumps, actually. Mm. Wow, this is beautiful. Nice little echo in the background of Miles singing, slowly fading out. Ooh. Wait a moment. This is 8.5 minutes almost. Wow. Mm. Searing guitars, you know. Love this. It's over now. I was expecting like a more ethereal bridge. Wow. This is quite the opposite. Like it though. Meow, meow, meow. Wow. Oh, nice. Fable of the Silent Song. I love that. Down, down, down. Such a nice contrast to Miles' voice. Wow. Ooh. Nice little proggy here. Odd time meter and everything. This reminds me of Haken. I don't know if you know the band Haken. Wow. That was a great, great bridge section. This is cool. This is really cool. Yes. Yes. That was Fable of the Silent Sun by Alter Bridge. And Eduardo says, so glad to be here just before Fable of the Silent Sun. Greetings from Chile. Greetings to Chile from Germany. Would love to go there at some point. Would love to see the world, you know, because I haven't really done that so far in my life. Wow, okay, this is definitely one of the centerpieces of the album. Not just in terms of the length, but in terms of its grandness, you know, its epicness. This song has so many different movements in it, you know, dynamics and different parts almost, but all belonging to the same thing, and it doesn't feel out of place, which I think is a testament to great art if you achieve that as a band. This definitely had some Fortress vibes to it, which I really dig. Also, this nice little proggy section in between with the odd time meter. I'm a big fan of progressive music, so that is cool. I like when Alter Bridge do that as well. So this it's over now. Na, na, na. This is such a great. It's so short and simple, but this, you know, coming up with a great and still interesting, captivating vocal melody is not that easy all the time. I played in a band back a few years ago, and it's, you know, it's always cool when you come up with something like that, but it sometimes, I guess, to a listener, it sounds easier than it might be in the process of writing and composing something, because, you know, there are so many possibilities that you have, not just as a singer, but also as a guitarist, you know, in terms of writing a cool melody and nice progression, chord changes and everything, harmonics. But because you have so many potential possibilities, finding the exactly fitting or an exactly fitting way to express something musically can be quite tricky at times. And I definitely enjoy, and I think that they actually achieved that with this song. This was from beginning to end a cool journey. Definitely, yeah. This was one of the highlights of the album so far. Gotta say, you know, wow, da da da, love it. Great. In terms of the German language and culture, you know, especially the language, for that matter. This could be translated to Die Fabel des stummen Sohnes, the fable of the silent son. You know, you can actually translate it literally, which is pretty cool. And the German translation, just from the looks of it, also looks quite similar to the English one. You know, Fabel des stummen Sohns. For die Fabel, singular, Die Fabeln, plural, the fable. And stumm, silent, that is pretty much the biggest difference in terms of the types of words, you know, the spelling and everything. And then you have a, once again, more similar term, der Sohn, singular, die Söhne, plural, the son. In German, I mean, but also in Germany, for that matter, with an additional, you know, prolonging H, der Sohn. So it's not Son, it's Sohn, you know, that vowel plus H, that H basically is a prolonging H. It prolongs the vowel that comes before it, that is pretty common in the German language. You can see that in many different words. And in most, you know, pretty much all of those cases, when you see an H like that, after a vowel, the vowel that comes right before it is long. You know, it's rather stressed. Der Sohn. Der Sohn and die Söhne. And similar, you know, in the plural form with the umlaut Ö, Söhne. You know, it's not Söhne, it's Söhne. So that's a nice little tip for you. Life hack, language learning hack, whatever. I don't know. Wow. Okay, this was much fun. Gotta tell you guys. And I'm quite curious to find out what the 8th song may promise to be, because it's the season of promise. Haha. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, kinda. Not really. You know. Let's listen to it. Song number 8, Season of Promise, in 3, 2, 1, play. This right away gives me more like almost a pop-punk vibe. I don't know why. Has a nice quality. Also, I like this galloping rhythm. Da 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 da. It's a nice contrast because it has like a major feel to it. Woo! Da-dum, da-dum, chunky. Love the feel of it. Da 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 da. Okay. Season of Promise. Awesome. Once again, the playful and creative rhythm, especially in the vocal arrangement, you know, da da dun 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 da 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 dun 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 da 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 dun 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 da, and so on. You know, this really galloping and basically, you know, offbeat progression that really suits the song well, I think, and makes it interesting because, you know, the melody is cool and catchy and all, you know. Yeah, it's a solid, very very solid song, very very cool feel to it, and once again, nice, short, simple, and a great contrast to the song that comes right before it, Fable of the Silent Sun. Season of Promise, die Saison der Versprechung, or die Jahreszeit der Versprechung, or der Verheißung, because, you know, both is possible basically. By the way, I hope I wasn't too low in the mix, you know, in terms of my microphone the entire time, but I don't hope I was. Anyway, yeah, this is pretty much the song title of all the song titles in this album right here, and the translations, the potential ones, with the most, you know, different potential translations. Saison der Versprechung, Saison der Verheißung, which basically means the same. Versprechung, Verheißung, you know. Or, depending on how you want to translate season, you know, Jahreszeit der Versprechung or Jahreszeit der Verheißung. Season, you know, in the sense of the season of the year, you know, the time of the year. That would be die Jahreszeit, singular. Die Jahreszeiten, plural. And Saison, die Saison, singular. Die Saisons, plural, is the season, you know, like a sail season or something, you know, I don't know, a season, you know, basically in terms of sports, maybe a certain season of some, like a league playing, that would be die Saison, rather. And die Verheißung, singular, die Verheißungen, plural, the promise, or die Versprechung, singular, die Versprechungen, plural, the promise or pledge, you know. Cool. Okay, almost closing in with the next song, Last Man Standing, even though it's not the last man because it's the penultimate song, it's not the last one. Let's check this out. Last Man Standing, song number 9 by Alter Bridge, off of their new album Pawns and Kings, in 3, 2, 1, play. da 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 da. Mm-hmm. Like the drum arrangement, the placement of the snare. There's a halftime feel to it right now. So with the open hi-hat pattern. This reminds me of something, this pre-chorus. The rhythm of it. Da 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 da. Maybe some Tool song. Tempest, maybe? I don't know. Dun, 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 dun. It's nice bass playing there. Ooh. I would love to have more of that. Dum, 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 dum. That was cool. And the final guitar solo. Oh, always a nice way to close a song. I think it reminds me of a certain spot in the Tool song Tempest. Da, 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 da. Could be wrong though. Might confuse it with something else. Okay. Last Man Standing by Alter Bridge, song number 9 out of 10. The penultimate, the second to last song on the record. And it's a typical Alter Bridge song, you know. Nothing more, but nothing less either. And sometimes, you know, even when you may think, I don't want to say that I thought that, but even when you may feel like, okay, this sounds pretty much, you know, it sounds like Alter Bridge, nothing new there. and expected. It's the bridge that just gets me, going, and that really stands out most of the time. And this once again showed me that it's a testament to the more silent and calm spots within Alter Bridge songs that really stand out to me most of the time. Whether it's like a bridge section or an intro to a song, or something like Lover, for instance, on Fortress, the first part of it, very calm, very fragile even. And it was the same here. And what also stood out to me this time around was the bass, especially in that calm and basically muted bridge section, because you could hear it very well. And it didn't just play along to the chords, it had its own melody line. And I always appreciate when that happens. And it still sounds cohesive, though. Sometimes I guess it can be tricky for a bass player to find their own way of playing, as opposed to, just following the chords of the guitar player, but rather playing own lines that really fit within the chords and the chord voicings and changes and everything, that it doesn't sound out of place. And this was really, 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 really solid. Once again. Also quite memorable, I think. Yeah. That is The Last Man Standing, or as we may say in German, well, how do we actually say it, Der letzte Überlebende, the last survivor, in that sense, the last man standing, der letzte Überlebende. It doesn't really have a direct one-on-one German equivalent, I don't think, which is according to the expression and the words, really exactly the same. Last man standing in German, you would say der letzte Überlebende, the last person to be alive, the last survivor. That would rather be a German way of saying it. Der letzte Überlebende for der Überlebende, Singular, die Überlebenden, Plural, the survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm sorry. Yeah. Awesome. And that leads us to the last song of this album, eponymously titled as this song, because the song is called Pawns and Kings and the album is called Pawns and Kings. The band is called Alter Bridge. This channel is called Definitely. And after this song, I'm gonna talk about the album as a whole, what I think about it from my first listening experience. Keep that in mind. So yeah, let's check it out. Maybe is this a song like Fortress, which really is like an epic ending to the album? Who knows? Let's find that out in 3, 2, 1, play. 6 minutes and 18 seconds. Okay. They know how to surprise sometimes. Oh, love that. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, okay. This is really Haken style. Or almost Dream Theater, actually. And Tremonti solo. Brum, brum. Ooh. Dun, 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 dun. Wow. That was a long line, vocally. That's a nice outro. Okay. Okay. That was not only Pawns and Kings, the song, but also Pawns and Kings, the album by Alter Bridge, their 10th album. It was a fitting last song, definitely. Didn't have the epicness of Fortress. Then again, does it have to have the same epicness? Not really, because what has happened? Berangere. Thank you very much. And don't you worry about that at all. You don't have to excuse for that at all. I'm extremely grateful for that support anyway. So thank you very much for doing that and for supporting the channel, for supporting the cause of this, me explaining the German language and culture in various ways. For instance, in this case, with music. And in this very case, with Alter Bridge and their new album, Pawns and Kings, album listening party / German language lesson. So if you enjoy that, that really warms my heart. It really does, because I love music. I'm a sucker for music, and I'm also a sucker for the song and this album as a whole. To be honest, coming to my final conclusion, don't want to. I've already translated the album's title at the beginning of this album listening party, so I'm not gonna do that again. Pawns and Kings, well, basically it means, Bauern und Könige. Also, for instance, in the field of chess or in general. Really cool album. It's funny, taking a look at for you it's here on this side, but for me it's actually here. Don't you worry. That is why I keep looking here. Looking at the song on the track list, and checking out the song list. The track list, song list doesn't exist. Anyway, looking at the track list, that is what I wanted to say. It's fascinating because out of all of these 10 songs, the first song, This Is War, right now, I don't know why, it appears to be the least memorable to me. I couldn't really recall tonally in my mind how that actually goes. Whereas for the other songs, basically, I can. Then again, that doesn't mean anything because then again, it was my first listen, and I'm gonna listen to this album more and more and more, of course, multiple times. But from my first listen experience, I would go as far to say that this is Alter Bridge's most cohesively good and well written album since Fortress. Nothing against Last Hero, nothing against Walk the Sky. Both also solid albums, but both of them, coming from such a strong and cohesive album with such strong arrangements, a certain progressiveness to it, huge dynamics in terms of the songs structurally floating through the room and the ear. Coming from that, it was really hard, I guess, for the band to follow that up with The Last Hero and with Walk the Sky. And while I do like those albums, they aren't on par with Fortress, and they aren't on par with AB3 and with Blackbird. They just aren't. I'm sorry. Don't dislike the albums, don't get me wrong, but it's, I don't know, it wasn't the same. And after Fortress, I saw them live on that tour, I think twice actually, in Hamburg and in Düsseldorf. Great shows, by the way, great live band. Definitely check them out if you can. And this album was certainly, in comparison to Fortress, comparing this album to that, it was certainly a step toward it, back to form. I would definitely say it's not on the same level as Fortress, but it is really, it's closer than the previous two releases are, for me personally. I hope I actually argued why that is the case for me throughout, the songs and my reactions here, because I think the ideas and the arrangements, the increased heaviness, the still great melodies, mixed with songs that are a little bit less accessible and less openly melodic, such as Sin After Sin, for instance, which is still a great song, but it's very, quite low and soaring and has a more evil quality to it. And then, following that up with a song like Stay, which is more, light and sung by Mark Tremonti, which is really cool. I like when they do that. But overall, I'd say it's a great album. It's definitely a great album. I really want to listen to it again and again and again. The production quality is pretty much good for that type of music, It's basically more or less the same as all their albums. I think there was a light shift in terms of, the tonal quality and the tonal mix, the production, I think, from Blackbird to AB3 and AB3 onwards. But, in that succession, AB3, Fortress, The Last Hero, Walk the Sky, and now Pawns and Kings, it's basically they all basically have the same production quality, which also makes sense because it is the same producer that they have worked with again, Elvis. Not the singer, but it's his nickname. And yeah, what can I say? It's a great album. Some surprises, definitely. Fable of the Silent Sun definitely stood out to me. One of the best songs on the album. So is Dead Among the Living. Holiday Stay. Yeah, I think those three may be my overall favorites, even though I like all the songs. I also like This Is War, but it just didn't. Once again, if you compare it to other albums and how they start off, Slip to the Void, AB3, great, mysterious sounding intro and opening song. Cry of Achilles, arguably the best opening song on any Alter Bridge album because of its structure and arrangement. It has such strong dynamics and you don't know what's happening next, and it's so tense, and the chorus is phenomenal, out of this world. I think that is something that what I want to say, compared to those albums, This Is War, it's an okay opener, but it's nothing more, I don't think. It's okay, but it's solid, but it doesn't really, how should I put it? Gets me on the edge, It doesn't really do the same that Cry of Achilles did for me back in the day when I listened to it for the first time. And I was like, wow, what is this? This is, wow, in your face, awesome. And I, after Fortress, I like those songs that came after that album, On the Last Hero and Walk the Sky. But apart from a few exceptions, I always felt like it's not the same quality anymore. It isn't on the same level of high quality of the Fortress arrangements and productions, of those compositions, which is hard to achieve, of course, because not every album can be basically a masterpiece. But yeah, this comes closest to the quality of Fortress, in comparison, in terms of the past 3 albums after Fortress, I would say. So that is Pawns and Kings by Alter Bridge. Definitely a good album, which I will gladly listen to again and again and again in the future. Tell me, what do you think of the album, and did you enjoy it as well? What is your favorite song? What are your favorite songs, of course? And I hope, basically, you enjoyed this album listening party or / German lesson of sorts. I hope I didn't butcher your name, Berangire. I've arrived at the end, but I'm going to enjoy the lesson anyway. Feel free to rewatch the rest afterwards, because this is going to be released on my channel and stay there, as a live stream recording. So, yeah. By the way, guys, one more thing. As I've said before at the beginning, I know this isn't the perfect solution because you can't actually hear the music within the video, but I don't want to risk these album reactions and my music reactions to be taken down, and only some of them are online and some of them are not. I'm not the biggest fan of that mishmash, It's not what I want. And doing it this way, even though it's not perfect for you guys, I know that, and I'm sorry. But I hope you understand my perspective as well as a creator, that I want to make sure that this stays online. And I hope the way I'm doing it right now with, counting you guys in and then hitting play, and you can hit play at the same time, I hope this kind of works for you. If you have another suggestion, I'm open for it, but there's another thing. In America, you have fair use, but in Germany, you don't really have fair use like that. It's a different judicial situation over here. And then again, apart from that, YouTube just sometimes the algorithm and the content ID system that scans for, you know, copyrighted material in videos, sometimes that system doesn't care if there is a legal option to use a song in terms of fair use, you know, or not. Sometimes that system just doesn't care, and it just flags and blocks everything that it sees, if it sees it fit. So that's the thing. I hope it's okay for you guys. I certainly enjoy doing it, and I certainly enjoy having these album listening parties, and also implementing a few learn German snippets every here and there. So without further ado, that is pretty much what I can say about Alter Bridge, Pawns and Kings. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal. Bye bye.